Hey, Westernites friends and family. I wanted to give you just a short word of encouragement on this Friday afternoon. In Matthew 16, Jesus is talking to his disciples, and he asks the question, who do people say the Son of Man is? Jesus is really asking, who do people say I am? What are they saying about me? Well, they replied, some say, well, you're John the Baptist. Others say Elijah, and still others say you're Jeremiah, or maybe one of the prophets. Each one of those has significance, by the way, but continue on. Jesus says, well, how about you? Who do you say that I am? Simon Peter does as he often does. He speaks up. He says, you are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. Correct answer, Jesus replied, blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for this was not revealed to you by flesh and blood, but by my Father in heaven. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Then he ordered the disciples not to tell anyone that he was the Messiah. Now, I have dwelt on this passage. I have studied this passage from different angles. I have walked down the fascination of the word Peter and rock, and how these are tied, and what the keys of the kingdom are, and what Jesus is saying whenever he says, upon this rock. Is he talking to Peter? Is he talking about the confession? I've walked through those, and it's fascinating. It's wonderful study. But today I just want to draw your attention. He says, on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it. The gates of Hades will not overcome. Okay, that right there kind of sums up a lot of how we view spiritual warfare. Is we understand that there is Hades, there is Satan, there is the demons on one side, and on the other side there's the church, there's the bride of Christ, there is the lamb and the lion, Christ himself. And we think that they're both attacking each other. And a lot of times how we understand Satan's role is that he is attacking us. This is how we often talk about it, is that he's on the offensive. He's attacking. Notice again, it says the gates of Hades will not overcome. If you think about it, gates are not offensive weapons. A gate is to contain. Sometimes it's a defensive idea, but also it's to contain, to hold in. What Jesus is saying is that Hades is trying to contain the church. It is trying to put the church in a nice little box that the rest of society, the rest of the world doesn't have to deal with. We're just stuck in the box. And this is the gates of Hades. And Jesus says, upon this confession, upon this understanding that I am the Messiah, the Son of the living God, I'm going to build my church, and the gates of Hades cannot stand when my church is what it's supposed to be. I don't know about you, but that gives me excitement. That gives me encouragement. Because we live in a world that seems to try to be clamping in on the church. And Jesus says, can't happen. It can't succeed because the gates of Hades can't stand. Yes, Satan is on the offense, but also at the same time, he's just simply trying to contain us. This gives me great excitement during a year like a pandemic. When a pandemic comes, that means the church is not going to be held back. Whenever social distancing and some sort of isolations protocols come, the church is not held back. Because if the gates of Hades can't stand against the church, then nothing else can. That means we have a job to do. That means it cannot be thwarted because Christ is the center of it. Upon this confession, his church is built. He is the Messiah, the Son of the living God. And no power of hell and no other power of this world can hinder what Christ is doing. So I hope that that's a little bit of an encouragement to you to remember that you are part of the winning team. You are part of something that cannot be contained. You are part of something amazing. It's called God's church. It's His. We get to be the body of Christ. So let's live it in everything we do. Love you guys, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend.